You're 18, lying under a Peterbilt at 11 p.m. with a dead flashlight and a leaking turbo line you've been chasing for 3 hours. The shop closes at 6, but the truck has to roll by 4 a.m. 8 years later, you're diagnosing a $40,000 engine failure on a Cat C15 with nothing but a laptop, a pressure gauge, and 20 minutes before the fleet manager calls corporate. This is every level of life as a diesel mechanic. If you like breakdowns of how careers actually work, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1, the Lube Tech. You're 18 and you're doing PMs on a fleet of dump trucks at a municipal yard. $16.50 an hour, 6 trucks before lunch. PM is preventative maintenance, oil, filters, grease points, a walk-around inspection on a form you fill out by hand because the yard's software hasn't been updated since 2014. The starting wage for a diesel technician nationally runs $17 to $20 an hour at the entry level. You learn the smell of a bad U-joint before you learn its name. You learn that diesel fuel on bare skin in August feels like nothing for 10 minutes and then feels like everything. You drain 15 gallons of used oil into a tank and you do it wrong once, splitting the seam on a drain pan, and you spend an hour with absorbent pads on a concrete floor while the lead tech watches without saying anything. He doesn't have to. There are 280,000 diesel service technicians working in the United States, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And most of them started exactly here, under a truck with a flashlight that's about to die. Level 2, the B-Tech. You're 21. You enrolled in an 18-month diesel technology program at a community college. $11,000 total with tools included in the program fee. You sit for your first ASE, medium/heavy truck certifications, the T-Series. T1 covers gas engines, T2 covers diesel engines, and the diesel engine test alone costs $46. The first-time pass rate across the T-Series clusters around 60%. You pass T2 and T4, brakes, on the first attempt. You fail T6, electrical and electronic systems, because you've never had to read a wiring diagram on a truck with 400 feet of harness and 11 different control modules talking to each other over a J1939 data bus. You retake it in 90 days and pass. The shop puts you on brake jobs, PM work, and DOT inspections. A DOT annual inspection on a Class 8 tractor takes 90 minutes if nothing's wrong, and 4 hours if something is. Something is usually wrong. You start carrying your own tools now. $4,200 financed through Mac Tools at 18%, and the Mac truck comes on Thursdays. Level 3, the A-Tech. You're 25. You're the diagnostic guy on second shift now. The trucks that come to you are the ones the B-Techs already gave up on. Median pay for a diesel technician nationally runs $51,440 a year, and the 75th percentile sits at $66,000. You're at the median and climbing. You hold 6 ASE certifications, and you're working toward your master medium/heavy truck status, which requires passing all 8 T-Series tests. You learn to use a laptop running an OEM diagnostic suite, Cummins Insight, Detroit DDDL, or Volvo's Premium Tech Tool, depending on what's on the lift. A bad NOx sensor on a 2021 Cummins X15 throws a D-rate code that cuts engine power to 25%, and the truck limps into your bay at 0.4 miles per hour over the curb because the driver didn't want to call it in. You diagnose it in 40 minutes. The part is $380. The diagnostic time billed is 1.2 hours at the shop's flat rate of $145 an hour. You did the actual work in less time than that, and you know it. And that gap is where your speed starts paying you back. Level 4, the Master Tech. You're 29. You hold ASE Master Medium/Heavy Truck Technician status, all 8 T-Series exams, plus the L2 Diesel Engine Diagnostic Specialist test, an advanced credential that fewer than 15% of working diesel techs ever pursue. Master techs at dealerships and large fleets clear $70,000 to $95,000 a year, and in high-demand markets with steady overtime, 6 figures isn't rare. You're the one who gets called when a truck comes back a second time for the same complaint. A 2019 Freightliner with a Detroit DD-15 comes in with an intermittent D-rate that 3 other techs couldn't replicate. You spend 2 days on it. You eventually find a chafed wire in the harness routing near the turbo. Insulation worn through by vibration over 280,000 miles, grounding out intermittently only when the engine is hot and under load. The fix costs $40 in wire and heat shrink. The diagnostic time was 14 hours across 2 days. The fleet manager doesn't ask why it took that long. He asks why nobody found it sooner. You don't answer that question. Nobody ever does. Level 5, the Fleet Maintenance Supervisor. You're 34. You stopped turning wrenches full-time 8 months ago, and you manage a shop of 9 technicians servicing a private fleet of 140 trucks for a regional carrier. Fleet Maintenance Supervisor pay runs $65,000 to $85,000 salaried, sometimes higher with a bonus tied to fleet uptime. Uptime is the number that runs your life now. Every truck sitting in your bay instead of on the road is a truck not generating revenue, and the dispatch office calls you about it like you personally parked it there. You manage PM scheduling on a fleet-wide interval, DOT compliance for 140 trucks, parts inventory, and warranty claims through 3 different OEM portals that all work differently, and none of which were designed by anyone who has ever worked in a shop. A tech you came up with fails an ASE retest and comes to you embarrassed. You remember failing T6. You tell him the story. He retests in 60 days and passes. Level 6. The shop owner. You're 40. You opened an independent diesel repair shop 3 years ago in a 6-bay building you lease for $7,200 a month. You financed $310,000 in diagnostic equipment, lifts, and tooling, including a Detroit DDDL subscription, a Cummins Insight Pro license, and a heavy-duty alignment rack that alone cost $58,000. Independent heavy-duty repair shops in the U.S. generate average annual revenue between $800,000 and $2.5 million, depending on bay count and specialization. You're at $1.4 million this year across 5 bays and 6 technicians. Your flat rate runs $155 an hour, and your techs bill at 80 to 90% efficiency, meaning a tech clocked in for 10 hours bills 8 to 9 hours of work. The 10 to 20% gap is the cost of diagnosis, parts runs, and the trucks that just don't cooperate. You turn down a fleet contract in March because the fleet wants net 60 payment terms on parts and labor, and you've seen what net 60 does to a shop's cash flow. You take a smaller contract instead, net 15, from an owner-operator group of 22 trucks. Smaller number, better number. Level 7, the exit. You're 52. A regional truck dealership group with 4 locations approaches you about acquiring your shop to expand their independent service offering outside the franchise network. Independent heavy-duty shops with documented fleet contracts and ASE master certified staff trade at 3 to 5 times EBITDA. Your adjusted EBITDA runs $240,000. The offer comes in at $1.05 million, cash at close plus a 2-year retention agreement. You take it. The dealership keeps your name on the building for the transition period, and then it comes down, replaced with corporate signage that matches the other 3 locations. 2 of your 6 techs leave within the year, 1 to a competitor, 1 to start his own mobile diesel repair business with a used service truck and your old diagnostic laptop, which you sold him for $400 because the dealership group issued everyone new equipment anyway. You drive past the shop sometimes. The bay doors are the same. The smell when they're open, diesel exhaust and brake cleaner and hot metal, is the same smell that was there the night you were 18 with a dead flashlight under a Peterbilt, chasing a leak you eventually found at 1 a.m. You found it that night. You always found it. That's the whole job, every level of it. Somebody parks a truck that doesn't run, and somebody has to figure out why.